I don't know how rock, paper, scissors works, apparently.
I apparently neither one of us do, because I'm...
Should we flip a coin? Oh, no, I have a coin.
No, we should just play rock, paper, scissors. But we don't know who wins.
All right, so whoever wins goes first.
Okay.
We should have probably done that from the beginning.
Now that we have set that straight. Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
You win.
Oh, so I go first.
Okay.
I was about to say, so who goes first?
Yes, that's what
Who's on first?
What's on second? Oh, my Lanta. Oh.
More energy. More passion. Oh.
More Botox. More Botox.
More Botox. More Botox.
Less filler. Less filler. You'll be fine.
Unless you're 80.
And just die.
Oh my god. You could literally be dying right now and I'd be still laughing.
I'm still laughing.
I'm so sorry to you 80-year-olds who we just told to die, but
oh my god.
you have to know how we died. Because she's definitely going to get pneumonia.
Oh, that is happening. That is on its way. It's going to be cultivating during this episode.
Okay.
Whoosh.
So I'm just gonna go take a nap now.
Well, yeah, so we just started the episode by getting confused on how to play rock, paper, well, we know how to play it.
We don't know how to win
it. Because apparently some of us thought it was when we lost, and then some of us thought it was when we won. But that's when it's not discussed about, like, the logistics of the game.
We just played and hoped for the best, and then when I won, I didn't know if I won.
Neither. We were like, so what does this mean? And then I took a jab at 80-year-olds, and then karma instantly came back and punched me in the throat. So, well, fancy meeting you here.
I'm Jill.
I'm Steph.
And this is
the Bantering Banshees.
I feel like this is just going to be a full giggle session today.
6 minutes in, and we finally got our intro. So, yeah, this is...
We're killing it.
It's going to be an interesting day.
This is going to be very interesting.
I can't wait.
I'm so glad I won.
I'm so glad you won.
Ooh, by the way, shout out to Angela for winning our merch.
Our winner! Can I just say, I had a quick moment yesterday where I thought, wait a minute. Do we have fans? I know we have supporters.
Yeah.
But I think Angela is...
our first actual fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that just made me really excited. I was like, we've made it.
We have one.
That's all I want.
That's all we wanted, is to reach one person and for them to be excited for our episodes to come out.
And that's what we have. And apparently, according to stats, we have more than one listener.
True.
Thanks, guys.
We love all of you, and we are very thankful that you're letting us do this.
Oh my god, the support. Please. You guys are the best. So, Jilly, what are you telling us about today?
We're going to talk about
a story.
I'm going to tell y'all a story.
I love stories, Mama. Tell me a story.
Once upon a time, there was the Bell Witch.
Oh, not this bitch.
So, my story's on the Bell Witch.
Okay.
It's known today as like the Bell Witch Cave. I guess that's where it originated.
Okay.
There was a man named John Bell who ended up coming from North Carolina to Tennessee, married a wife named Lucy, and they had 9 kids together. John, Jesse, Betsy, Richard, Drury, Benjamin, Esther, Zadok, and Joel.
I have some thoughts.
Drury.
Drury?
Drury. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, there's one in every family.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. So they ended up moving to Tennessee and became extremely successful farmers. And around 1816, John Bell and his daughter Betsy began to be plagued by an entity that was later known as the Bell Witch or Kate Batts Witch. And Kate Batts was the neighbor of the Bell family. Kate Batts was a neighbor of the Bell family who the Bells believed had been wronged by them.
Someone was very wrong.
Kate Batts was like, that's it, I'm coming for you.
Okay.
The witch came to John one day while he was in the fields, and he ended up mistaking this entity for an animal and tried to shoot it. And it took off, but when John was talking about what the animal looked like, he said it resembled a dog with the head of a rabbit.
Oh.
Like, that's just weird. Like, even if you came back as an entity, why are you coming back as a dog with the head of a rabbit?
Oh, that's... See, I have a thing when animals get put together. Yeah. Like, no, like, love centaurs, like, nymphs, like, love those. Think they're adorable.
But, like, dogs and rabbits?
Dog with the head of a rabbit? For whatever reason, I'm picturing a German Shepherd. Doesn't necessarily have to be with the head. Exactly. With a shrunken head like, of a rabbit. Like, that... I would shoot at that too.
Exactly.
I'd be like,
no, you're done.
Yeah. You know what? This field is now yours. Bye-bye.
I didn't need to be a farmer.
Yeah, and thank you for reminding me. Later.
After that, they started seeing a lot of mysterious things. John's son Drury. I don't even know if I'm saying that right because
how else would you say that?
I don't know.
Right. So I would go with that.
Well, Drury tried to approach a bird one day who flew away, and his son stated it was of extraordinary size. Now, my question is, like, if it's extraordinary size, how big is extraordinary?
And how old was this child when this happened?
It does not say.
Right. So
he could have been like 2
and seen like,
an eagle.
A turkey vulture. And been like, that, no feather on its head, and is huge. That was Satan. Like,
the devil has come.
And he's a bird. Oh my God. That probably traumatized that child.
Probably.
He probably was fearful of birds. Oh, gee.
Every time a bird came. I don't know, because it's Drew.
Uri.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was a boy or a girl, like, because there's Drew Barrymore and she's a girl. Well, and then you put a Ree at the end.
And then there's Drew Bledsoe. He's the former quarterback of the New England Patriots.
Why are your podcasts an hour and a half? Because we don't shut up.
And you know what? We don't want to cut it all out because some of it's really good.
Or at least we think it's really good.
I mean, we're a little biased, but
we've been told.
Doctor is literally like, I can't right now.
I hear them all day at work. Screw this.
Oh my
I'm done listening.
God. That was so good. We've been told. Oh, so sorry. Go, please continue.
The daughter, Betsy, stated she saw a girl in a green dress swinging from a limb on an oak tree, which that's like as far as it goes. It doesn't say she disappeared or the girl looked creepy. It just says she saw a girl swinging from an oak tree.
Okay, but when
that could have been like Pamela down the road.
Right, but the phrase swinging from an oak tree, gives me... Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think she was like trying her pull-ups. I think I think it was like a kind of swinging.
Oh, that makes way more sense
Which
now.
might have been why it was
That
so
might have been-
fucking terrifying.
And maybe the bird was next to it. I don't know.
The bird was on the same tree. It is something with this tree.
It's not the cave. It's the tree.
It's we've been confused. Oh my gosh.
So a slave of the bells, whose name was Dean, stated every time he went to visit his wife, a big black dog would follow him and sometimes have two heads.
Sometimes?
That, like, what is wrong with this dog? He's got rabbits as heads. He's got second heads.
And everyone's like, just leave that one alone.
It's fine.
He lives in the woods.
Get on, get, dog.
Don't come back with another head now, you hear?
45 minutes later. 2 hours later. So the family started hearing sounds in and around their house. The family would hear rats gnawing on the beds, invisible dog fights, chains being dragged on the floor, and banging on the outer walls. The boys would rush outside to catch the culprit, but never found one. Then things started progressing. Sheets would get pulled from the bed, pulled hair, and scratching the children. Voices would whisper in their ears, and the girls stated it sounded like a feeble old woman. I don't want...
No.
No.
Mm-mm. All I think of is, like, the lady from Titanic. Like, and...
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
The rusty kettle. I love rusty spoons.
Nobody just saw me do that. I just made a very interesting
It just
noise.
sounds like you got excited. You're like 80-year-old woman. I promise we're getting to the scary part.
Oh my god, we're getting there, guys. Give us time.
The worst was always on Betsy, who would get pinched, slapped, and scratched, leaving bruises and welts on her. John Bell started to have afflictions to his own body, and he began to experience paralysis of his mouth. Things started getting so bad that John asked his friend James Johnson for help, and after James and his wife decided to stay the night, they were awakened by the same phenomena.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Okay. I'm not gonna keep going.
We suck at this.
We're so bad.
John told Bell that it was a dark spirit just like in the Bible. Soon after the news of the haunting started to spread, people would travel great distances to see the witch. It even reached General Andrew Jackson, who was fighting alongside John Jr. and 2 of his brothers. He decided he would investigate with the boys and some of Andrew's men, but on their way, the wagon got stuck going through a muddy creek bed. Jackson, who was getting exasperated, said, "By the eternal boys, it's the Bell Witch." Not seconds later, the entire party heard a disembodied female voice that stated that they could proceed and she would greet them later on that night.
No, thank you.
No. If my car gets stuck, I'm just going to leave it. It's fine.
I'm not. I don't know if depends on the location. Because if it's in the middle of nowhere, I'm not leaving anything. I am staying right the fuck there.
What if it, like, comes in your car and it's like, you can proceed?
I'm going to be like, you the liar.
Another lie.
Another lie. Vanessa, away. No, I would stay. However, if I was, like, in a populated area, could get help rather easily, I'd be like, deuces, and hoof it to a house. I'm not gonna lie, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Vanessa lies.
Why, Vanessa?
Away.
So laying in their tents that night, they encountered the witch. Some saying they felt pins and needles under their skin, while others were severely beaten. He refused to leave that night. The rest of the events are unclear, but he was seen in Springfield the next morning and was reported saying, "I would rather fight the British at New Orleans than fight the Bell Witch." Someone asked, "Who are you and what do you want?" And the witch answered, "I am a spirit. I was once very happy, but have been disturbed and made unhappy." And some accounts record the witch also to have clairvoyant and capable of being in 2 places at once, and that she could travel very long distances in seconds. There was one time that a full conversation was being had with the witch, repeated in the exact same wording, 13 miles apart from each other.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, wait, how is that? to do with clairvoyancy, but okay, that makes sense. Got it.
The witch also loved creating drama and would listen into conversations and then go to the other household to divulge of the drama that she had just heard.
Is this a Real Housewife?
Like, this isn't the Bell Witch.
This is an episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm sorry, but no, they do that still to this day. And get paid for it now.
She's like, where's my money?
She's like, girl, I just heard what Beelzebub was saying about you. Let me talk.
An Englishman had heard of these rumors and asked to investigate these claims. On remarking of his family overseas, the witch suddenly began to mimic his English parents. Then the witch woke him to voices of his parents, worried as they heard the voices also. The Englishman quickly left and later wrote to the Bell family apologizing for his skepticism. Can you imagine laying in bed thinking about how you want to get to the bottom of what's going on and then you hear your parents in the room?
And it's the thing that you're trying to figure out taunting you. And
you know your family is across the ocean.
Pond. Across the pond.
Across the lake.
Oh my God. Your mother was just like, Mummy. No, your
mother was just like, Mummy.
Wait, that doesn't make sense.
Why are you talking to yourself?
The theme of this episode should be, that doesn't make sense.
Who wrote this?
Amateurs. Oh, I'm sorry.
So apparently the witch had a fondness for Lucy, John's wife, stating that she was the most perfect woman to walk the earth. She would give Lucy fresh fruit and sing hymns to her. She really did not care for John, though, stating that she intended to kill him and signal her intention through curses, threats, and afflictions. John Bell started to experience episodes of twitching and problems swallowing. By 1820, his illness had gotten so bad he was forced to stay at home. John Bell passed away on December 20th, 1820, after slipping into a coma a day earlier. Immediately following his death, the family found a black liquid in the cupboards. The cupboards. This is what happens at work. I'll read it off exactly how it is. So the family found a black liquid in the cabinets and heard a female voice state that she was responsible for his death. They gave a couple of drops to the cat, who promptly yowled and then died on the spot.
Okay, cats and dogs were used to test things back then. That was just not okay.
No, that's so fucked up. We think this might have killed our husband and father. Let's give it to the cat.
Yeah, let's see how the cat reacts to it. Oh, the cat's dead too. We probably shouldn't.
Murder!
I don't.
That's so horrible.
Yeah, that's always upset me.
After the cat died, the family stood there astonished, and then the witch spoke up and stated, "A big old dose of that last night to fix him up."
I like this witch. She's sassy.
She really is.
She's
like, "I really like you, Lucy. Here's some fruit and flowers. Don't like you, I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to take care of that problem right there. Hey, Lucy, you're looking a little single."
So Betsy Bell became interested in a young man by the name of Joshua Gardiner. They decided they wanted to get married. Everyone was so happy about the engagement except for a mysterious entity who became very furious and repeatedly ordered Betsy not to marry Joshua. Betsy couldn't handle it anymore, and on Easter Monday of 1821, she met Joshua at the river and broke off the engagement. The witch then visited Lucy Bell and said that she would be leaving, but she would be back in 7 years. Supposedly, it did return, but most of its visit were to John Bell Jr., with whom the witch discussed the origins of life, Christianity, and the need for a spiritual reawakening.
How do we know this is the same witch?
Yeah, that's,
she all of a sudden did
I'm just gonna murder people, and then I'm like, you know what? Let's talk about Jesus.
Right.
Very weird.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the same person.
I don't either. I don't.
No. Martin Ingram, who was an author, wrote a book about the witch, and in his book, he stated that the poltergeist's name was in fact Kate and claimed to be Old Kate Batswitch and responded favorably to that name.
Okay, do they keep thinking she's a witch just because her last name is Bats?
Freaking bats.
Freaking bats. I love them. But, like, that's very
I don't.
stereotypical. Very
I don't know.
judgmental of them.
So the entity that took over the Bell farm and tormented the Bell family is still blamed for the hauntings that occur today. Which brings us to the actually segment.
Actually.
So faint sounds of people talking, candle lights, apparitions, orbs, and mists are explained, and unexplainable touches and pushes happen. Because you can still visit this house today. And the cave system that she apparently lived in. And the family that currently owns the farm offers tours of the property and shares the stories of the Bell Witch. But there's one person in particular who talks about how he absolutely believes the Bell Witch is real. He lives next door to the farm, and he was mowing his dad's tractor one day, and he was going down the hill, and his tractor tires hit something. He disengaged the mower, pulled the tractor around, and he said his blood went cold as he looked through the area that had gotten stuck, and it was in the middle of someone's head, making a lane in the grass. And in that lane were 4 Native American burial graves.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
He said, I consider myself a very logically driven and rationally minded person. Basically, I let my empirical senses try to explain something before I'll open myself to other possibilities. Yet there were things that happened to me and my whole family that we weren't able to rationalize with the scientific mindset or anything logical. The activity in our house started shortly after the mowing incident. We would hear heavy knocking and pounding on the outer walls of the house. Some nights I would hear running footsteps accompanying the pounding. This activity happened nearly every single night. Then things started to escalate. One night I was letting my golden retriever out to go pee. We had a ranch-style house overlooking the Red River. The door we were exiting was on the back side of the house facing the river. As I opened the door, I started hearing faint whispering, something akin to leaves being blown scratching across the ground. I looked up at the trees to see if the wind was blowing, and everything was perfectly still.
Oh, I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
I hate when you hear something and you're like, oh, it's the wind, and you look up and there is no wind, and you're like,
That wasn't!
Okay.
The noise continued, but as it continued, it grew closer and louder and sounded like a language of some sort that you would imagine an incantation or something nefarious in the tone of the sound. I had looked down at my golden retriever, and all the hair on her back was standing straight up, and she was snarling like a rabid wolf. I started getting extremely nauseous and could smell sulfur. I was completely frozen when my dog launched herself through the door's threshold and started gnashing her teeth midair, snarling and chomping.
Ooh.
I grabbed my dog midair and pulled her quickly inside, slammed the door, and threw the deadbolt into place. The door and frame shook violently as a vicious pounding started hammering on the threshold. We sat there alone all night until the sun came up, and Ginger, my golden retriever, laid across my lap the entire night, pressing into me while she whimpered for hours.
Oh my God.
That is so sad.
That's freaky.
He said, another night, I was coming home from football practice, and I had all my gear in a gym bag over my left shoulder. As I closed the front door behind me, I began sitting down the gear bag from my left side, which caused me to look right. The room when you first walked in was our library, where we had a leather couch, a chair, piano, bookshelves, and a wooden rocking chair, and there was something sitting in the rocking chair. My peripheral vision caught it first, the chair going back and forth. As my vision centered on the chair, there was a humanoid-looking shape sitting there, head glancing downward at the book it was holding. Its long black hair drawn down over its head and completely void of light. To picture what I saw, imagine the silhouette of a person, but rather a void of light.
Oh, that's creepy.
Ugh.
That's creepy. No.
No.
Mm-mm.
He said, another time I was fishing with my cousin Jack on the river by our house. We were right on the bend of the river, so the moon was shining on both sides of the river, racing out at 2 lines like a 90-degree angle from the house. My friend reached up and tapped me and said, does that lady need help? I looked to where he was pointing, and there was a pale woman dressed in white clothes going back and forth, picking up stones just to the left of us across the river. I had seen her many times before around the property, and whenever I would get close to her, she would disappear behind a tree or something similar would happen. Knowing this, I told Jack as calmly as I could that it was time for dinner and he needed to get up and go to my mom immediately. As I walked behind him and looked behind me, I realized that she was gone, but I could hear splashing in the water below, which is just creepy as hell.
So she was throwing stones.
Yeah. Ugh. But like to still hear the sound when there's no one there.
Right.
That's so freaking creepy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially when you look back and they go.
Ugh. He said another time he was walking through the woods near the Bell Witch Cave. One moment it was completely sunny and blue skies. The next moment it was overcast and looked like it was around 4 p.m. I had completely lost time.
Oh,
that's creepy.
I hate those.
I remember reading a book. He went into the woods and woke up and it had been 3 days and he couldn't remember the 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that reminds me of. Like you go in somewhere and you completely lose time and then forget everything that happened in that time period.
Yeah.
Just so creepy.
That would scare me.
Ugh. He said he would get a bunch of night terrors.
Yeah.
He said one time he woke up outside around 3 a.m. and he was laying next to the 4 graves of the property. The night was awfully cold, but I woke up soaked in sweat. Yeah, he had a lot of stuff happen, which is creepy.
The grave thing kind of reminds me of the Conjuring house.
Ooh, yeah.
And the soldiers that were in the wall but weren't actually in the wall. That's scary. Where in Tennessee?
Adams.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to add that to the travel roster. Yeah.
Well, that is our story.
That was a good one.
That is my story of the Bell Witch.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with any of that.
No. And I feel bad because these poor people don't really know how they piss this woman off.
Exactly. And then
she just got pissed off.
Random people just start dying.
Yeah. No, thanks.
No.
But that was well done.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Please and thank you. All right. See you guys at the next one.
Bye.
Bye.